How's it going, guys? Hunter here with Noct, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2026 bow setup, letting you guys know what all I've got on my bow, the arrows I'm running, all the way down to the release. You guys are going to get a little bit of everything that I'm running this year. I'm pretty excited to bring it to you guys, and hopefully this one's going to knock down a big one this year. Let's get into it. Alright, the first piece of equipment that I want to talk about is going to be what I think is probably the most important piece of equipment, and that's going to be your release. Now, I use a Scott Verge. I love this release. It's got the built-in clicker. If I can get it to click. If you guys could hear that, maybe not. If not, I'll bring it closer to the camera so you guys can. And what the clicker does is it tells me whenever I get back to full draw and I'm ready, it lets me know, okay, next movement on this, next tension that I put onto this trigger, that bow is going to go off. It's built to prepare somebody that's always shot a trigger release to shoot a back tension release. And I started using it a few years ago as a way because I found that I had a lot of target panic. What I found was as I got back, if I real slowly walked through and I heard that click, it would calm me down just enough before I would let that shot go that I was able to be confident in that shot placement just about every single time, and I wasn't panicked about, I don't know when the bow's going to go off. If I get that back tension and I hear that click, I know, okay, next little bit of back tension, this arrow's going off, it's time for me to start shrinking down that pin float, bring it to center, put it right where I want it. And I've been pretty successful with that. So if you guys are looking for a new release, I highly recommend the Scott Verge. It's a great all-around release. I've been using it for 2 or 3 years now. Absolutely love it, and it has been a phenomenal tool to not only bow hunt with, but target, 3D shoots, all that kind of stuff. This release will do it all. All right, guys, we're going to talk about the most important piece of a bow build, the arrow. The arrow, in my opinion, is the one part that you don't cheap out on your bow. You can cheap out on a sight, you guys can cheap out on the bow itself, you guys can cheap out on a rest, a stabilizer, all that kind of stuff. Don't cheap out on your arrows. Build high quality arrows. Custom built arrows are super easy to do. I do them. I'm not that smart. Super easy to do. You guys can order everything. I order all my stuff from Lancaster Archery. Ships within a couple days. Gets to your house within a week. And you guys too can have custom arrow builds. So we're going to talk about what I have on my arrow build, and I'm going to start with the base of the arrow. So the shaft itself is a Maxima Sable by Carbon Express and a 250 spine. And I shoot a little bit heavier spine because I shoot really heavy arrows. I want the high GPI, and these arrows have done very, very, very well for me. From back to front on the Maxima, I've got a Nocturnal Fit LED, and this one is in the red and blue strobe. It shows up really good on video. That's the only reason I shoot these. If you're not filming and you're not worried about knowing exactly what you hit, you can have a pretty good idea whenever you release the bow. A normal nock is probably your best bet. These also do help find the arrows. I've lost a few that without the lighted nock I'd have never found. These guys do a phenomenal job of helping you find those arrows, especially in low light, early morning, late evening. Being able to see where that arrow goes, phenomenal, phenomenal. Moving forward here just a little bit, I've got a 7-inch Bonning wrap. This one is reflective, so in the dark, you hit it with a flashlight, it reflects. The entire idea behind this arrow build was get as much weight to the front of the arrow as what I can, but make the back reflective, make it show up, make it pop so that you can find that arrow so much easier if it impacts the ground. And I think that we've accomplished that pretty well with this arrow. I've also got shield cut Bonning vanes on the back. These ones are in teal, again, staying with that. I want something bright, something vibrant, colors that are not out in nature normally. Teal's a pretty good option. Everywhere that I hunt, there's no teal out in the woods. So these show up really well. I shoot the really small, I think they're 1.5 or 1.75 inch vanes, and they do a fantastic job of getting these arrows stable going through the air and making sure that we can be as effective as possible. Moving forward here, I have a 150 grain brass insert going into the front of the arrow. Again, staying with that, I want a super heavy front end. And that brass insert does it. Also by Carbon Express, super cheap, super easy to do, adds a ton of FOC, makes you super effective with your bow. Highly recommend. Right now I've just got the practice points on, been out practicing, trying to get the bow dialed in, ready for season. I shoot G5 dead meats. Just about everybody in the team shoots G5 at this point. There's a few guys that still shoot Rage. Jeffrey swears by his Montex. Hey, whatever you guys are comfortable with, go out and shoot it. Make sure you shoot your broadheads before you go out. I will say that again. Shoot your broadheads before you go hunting. A few years ago, whenever I built these arrows, actually, so these exact arrows, I got on the heavy grain train by the Hunting Public, and I wanted to go to a fixed blade, but I was not sold on a single bevel. But I wanted a fixed blade. It can't fail. It's got to be perfect, right? I just bought my Phase 4. Bow was tuned. I bought a set of Montex, went out, and I started shooting. I could bullseye at 80 yards, no problem. I'd put 5 within a 4 to 5 inch circle at 80 yards. Felt really good. Mind you, the 4 to 5 in a 5 inch circle is taking long period breaks between each. And what I found was, as soon as I put those Montex on the front and I went to go shoot, at 20 yards, I could not hit in a dinner plate. An 8 inch circle, I could not hit. Not consistently, anyway. I would find that sometimes they'd break off and they'd go left. Sometimes they'd break and they'd go right. They'd be up, they'd be down. They were all over the place. I thought it was me. I thought it was the bow. I put in field points and started shooting again, and I was center punching with the field point, but the Montex were not flying. Now, obviously, I know that's probably a tuning issue. There's probably something not tuned properly on the bow. At the point in time, I was about a week out of season. I did not want to wait. So, I didn't wait. I went out, got some dead meats, and started shooting those, and they've been fantastic for me. Put fist-size hole in deer, and that's what I've been shooting ever since, and I love them. So that's where I've been sticking. Moving forward from the arrows, I use a Mathews Low Pro quiver. Gets it super sucked down tight to the bow, gets everything really close, really helps with that balance distribution, off on one side or the other. My only qualm that I've ever had with this quiver is it does not have a loop to be able to hang it while you're up in the tree. And that's very minor. That's super easy fix. What I've done is I've taken some 550 cord and I've ran 550 cord off of my 2 riser strands, and that's how I hang the quiver now. I've stuck it in my bag. I've hung it off of tree branches just like this. What I've found has been the easiest and most effective way for me to be able to carry my arrows in and out of the tree, just with a simple hook. Hook it up onto the tree, hook it onto, for me, it's now a Amsteel rope that goes around the tree for my bow hanger. It just hangs off of that. It's out of the way. It's up high, so if I need to get to another arrow, I easily can. Highly recommend if you guys need a way to be able to hang your Low Pro, that's what you guys do. 550 cord, paracord, super cheap. Throw it on there, hang it, good to go. All right, now for the fun part, the bow itself. So I shoot a Mathews Phase 4 29. It is a 2021 release, I believe. That sounds correct. Yes, November of 2021. Bow is done very well for me. I love how it shoots. It's quiet. It's as dead in the hand as any other Mathews bow. I've shot every Mathews bow since the Phase 4 came out. They all have their purposes. They all are fantastic bows. If you have one, I'm not going to ding on you and be like, no, you need to get to Phase 4. You need to get to this one. Shoot whatever you're comfortable with. But for me, I switched over to Mathews in 2022. Bought mine in June of 2022, and I have been very happy with it ever since. Shoots fantastic, no issues. I love it. So we're going to go from top to bottom. I'm going to run you guys through everything that I have on this bow that I feel like makes me as successful as what I can possibly be. So here we go. All right, so starting off right here at the top, the very first thing that you guys are going to notice is I've got a simple GoPro mount up here at the very top of the bow. Now, what that GoPro mount does is I can mount my GoPro onto it. I have a session, and that session actually faces back down at me. So that's how we're going to get second angles this year. I'm going to have a session on top of the bow that'll face back towards me, film that way. I think it's going to be really cool. If you guys don't see any second angles, because it wasn't very cool, it didn't work, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, so on and so forth. So now for my main bow sight, I am shooting a Spot Hogg Fast Eddie XL. Fast Eddie in the 2-pin variant. So what you guys will see here is, if it'll show up very well at all, there are 2 little pins in there. Top one's green, bottom one is orange. That top one is what your dial's set to. The bottom one is what your second pin is set to. If you guys are just getting into single pin sights, I highly recommend the Fast Eddie series. You guys will get everything that you guys love out of a multi-pin sight in a really compact way that allows so much more adjustability than a multi-pin. So I highly recommend them. QAD Integrate MX, highly recommend this. Super easy to use. Flip up, get it up. Once the bow goes off, goes down. Fall away arrow rest, fantastic arrow rest. There's 1,001 different people that have talked about this. It's got the micro adjustment. It's got everything that you need. Absolutely love it. If you're looking at getting one, get it, get it, get it. They're fantastic. Right now, I have a Trophy Ridge 8-inch stabilizer on the front of the bow. I'm going away from Trophy Ridge this year. If not this year, maybe next year. I'm going to be switching over to a Quattro stabilizer on the front. If you guys don't know Quattro, I'll link them down below. They make fantastic stabilizers at an amazing price point. Go check them out. Support those guys. Buy some stuff from them. That's what I'm switching over to, and I think a couple of the other guys are as well. So I highly recommend. Right here, the only change that I've made to the bow itself is I got rid of the black dampener, switched over to an orange one. I've also tied it in, as you guys can see, using some 550 cord rope. The reason I did that is the year that I got this bow, I was getting out of a tree, this dampener fell out, and my bow was loud, it was shooting like crap. Went and found the dampener, because I knew about right where it was. Went and found it finally, got an orange seal, put it all back into there, good to go. Very happy with how that's been. It's been tied once since I did that. I have no issues. And then the last piece, the Engage limb legs. If you're shooting a Matthews, get the Engage limb legs. They're awesome. Allows you to put the bow down. I hunt out of blinds a lot, as you guys know, and the Engage limb legs are a good way for me to be able to keep my bow accessible, but keep it upright. It's not leaning against anything. I can move it around the blind. It's not making a bunch of noise. So the Engage limb legs are the route that I've chosen to go, and I highly recommend them if you guys shoot a Matthews. I think they fit on the V3X or the V3s. I don't remember which one. You guys can look that up, or I will answer it down in the comments below once this video is live. But yeah, the Engage limb legs, highly recommend. They're an awesome product, so go check those out as well.